My dad's close friend is a police officer, and this is a story he once shared with me. It made headlines locally for a couple of weeks, but that was years ago now. He doesn't like talking about it, understandably, but he's known our family forever, so I managed to get the full story out of him one night. There was this young guy, let's call him Ethan. He lived in Cincinnati and worked as an entrepreneur, which meant he often traveled to business conventions. He was married to a woman named Grace, and the last day of a 3-day convention in Huntington, West Virginia, happened to fall on their 1-year wedding anniversary. They were both disappointed they couldn't spend the day together. Then, as fate would have it, a small snowstorm swept in unexpectedly. It was early October, so no one was prepared. The final day of the convention was canceled. Ethan saw it as a sign. He could drive home and surprise Grace. He didn't call or text her. He wanted to keep it a secret. He left sometime in the early morning hours. The roads were slick with black ice, and somewhere along the way, he lost control and slid off the highway into a tree. Fortunately, he was going slow enough that he wasn't injured, but the car was badly damaged. Not long after, a tow truck happened to come by and picked him up. The driver offered to tow the car and said Ethan could stay at his home overnight. He lived nearby in a tiny town that barely showed up on the map. Population maybe 100. Off-grid. Isolated. The driver seemed kind enough and even offered Ethan a guest room to sleep in. Still eager to surprise Grace, Ethan didn't bother calling. Maybe there was no service. Maybe he figured he'd be back on the road by morning. That night, as he was getting ready for bed, Ethan noticed a loose floorboard near the dresser. Out of curiosity, he pried it up and found a journal. It wasn't dusty. In fact, it looked recent. It was written by someone who described their car breaking down and being picked up by the same tow truck driver. The entries seemed normal at first. The writer sounded relieved to be taken in, grateful for the hospitality. But the last page was chilling. It said, "It's morning now. I hope my car will be fixed soon. I've got to go surprise it." The last word was cut off, and at the bottom of the page, a splatter of dried blood. Not long after Ethan read the entry, there was a knock on the guest room door. When the police eventually searched the home, after concerned neighbors noticed the driver acting suspicious, they found Ethan's body in the hallway, stabbed to death. And in the downstairs closet, they found Grace. She'd apparently made the same decision. Tried to surprise Ethan. Her car must have broken down along the same highway. She'd been picked up by the same man. They died without ever knowing the other had made the same plan. The officer, my dad's friend, was one of the first on scene. He told me the part that haunts him the most is imagining the moment Ethan realized Grace had already been there, and what was about to happen to him. He's a newlywed himself. Says that case still makes him sick.